Hello there, this is Peter Beckenham, the Village Marketer, and today I want to talk to you about email marketing, and in particular, how to book more high-ticket sales calls using email. You see, just recently, I had the privilege and the enjoyment of being involved in a range of masterclasses, and in particular one run by a young guy, an enthusiastic, very successful email marketer by the name of Jules Dan. And he very kindly let me have some of the slides he used. And you'll know what they are when I start sharing a presentation with you, because they are the ones that have got the animations in them, because I don't have the technology to do that, right? So without any further ado, let me share my screen with you, and I hope you get some real value out of this and discover how to book more high-ticket sales calls in the future. Away we go. So here we are, how to book more high-ticket sales calls with email. Who is this training for? Well, it's for coaches, consultants, and course creators, those people who want to make more money from their existing email list, people with a small email list, like maybe even less than 1,000 or even 500, who aren't sure what to say in their follow-up to book more high-ticket sales calls, or experienced people who have a steady flow of opt-ins and are looking for ways to maximize their return on investment in their follow-up emails. Because it's all about an email sequence you can use that actually builds the opportunity of you getting on a call with potential high-ticket clients. By the way, in this presentation, if you are a very experienced email marketer, there's no need for you to continue, because I'm not going to give you anything that you don't know already, all right? So thank you very much for your interest, all right? But I'm sure you've got other things that are more important to do than going over email training that you know already, all right? So why is the focus on high ticket? Sure, it's not the only game in town, right? But one, there's no need for a big list, right? If you're doing high ticket, there's no need for a big list at all. And secondly, you only need a few sales to make it a viable business. Think about that. And when I'm talking high ticket, I'm not talking $50 or $100. I'm talking maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 and up, okay, in terms of what you're offering, or even at a minimum, at least 1,000, all right? Today, you'll see why email campaigns flop and why that drives the masses to believe email is dead. Well, if you're one of those, I'm hoping to show you today that is absolutely untrue. There's been a whole lot of stuff about messaging on social media, and sure, that is brilliant. There's no doubt about that. But I can tell you, email marketing is your future. Do not let a social media platform control your business potential, because they can close you down tomorrow. But if you've got an email list, that's your asset, and it's probably the most important one you'll ever have, all right? So what we'll cover today works with webinar follow-ups, freebies or lead magnet follow-up emails, any launches you're going to have or thinking about having, any YouTube ads or Facebook ads you've had, any follow-up for those. That's what this will look at, all right? To do this, we need 3 keys to success. Key number 1, how to ethically swipe proven million-dollar email marketing campaigns and skip 80% of the tedious research. That's why I said if you're an experienced email marketer, you know this already. So if you're still here, see you later, all right? But a swipe file is brilliant. Secondly, how to strategize an email campaign that generates calls for you without being a pro writer at all. You don't have to be a great copywriter. I'll show you how you can do that really easily. And key number 3, how to get customers to write your emails for you and do most of the hard thinking. Hard to believe? Let me show you. So get your notepad ready, all right? And let's dive into key number 1. Right? Key number 1, how to ethically swipe proven million-dollar email marketing campaigns and skip 80% of the tedious research. Let me ask you this. Who's skeptical, okay? I've heard, and HubSpot's got it, that for every $1 you spend on email marketing, it generates $38 in return for you. Okay, that's 3,800% return. Now, I have the highest regard for HubSpot, but $38 for every dollar spent in email marketing, are you really sure you can believe that? I mean, how do people actually pull this off? I mean, if those numbers were true, we'd all be wildly rich, right? Here's an easy way to snoop on people making millions with email, right, without paying anything. This was the first lesson my mentor taught me. Build an email swipe file. Now, to do that, create yourself another email account, like a new Gmail one, okay? One that you're not going to use except to opt in for people, okay? You don't want it, that's all it is. It's a specific purpose to build a swipe file. So create a brand new Gmail, for example, or Yahoo, or whichever you want, okay? Now, do you know who this guy is? No, he's not my mentor, right? He is a really clever and unbelievably successful marketer by the name of James Wedmore. And I joined his email list, right? And he's given me so many unbelievable $1 million ideas, right? All sorts of things. And that's part of the whole beauty of using a brand new email to create a swipe file of these great marketers. This is where the money is hidden. Each email list you sign up for gives you content and money-making clues. After all, you're not just doing an email campaign to make a good person of yourself. You're doing it to make money, aren't you, right? And at the same time, when you do that, when you sign up with these top-line marketers, right, you'll see what the competitors are offering. You'll see what pain points they're poking in their emails, right? You'll learn what gets you excited, what common stories they're sharing, and most importantly, you'll see what's missing, all right? So it's a free education from the world's best email marketers, and it's a simple matter of you opting into them. So how do you get this piece of the email profit? I'll just mention it to you. Find the influencers, right? Maybe they're on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or YouTube. You know who the influencers are in your niche market. Go and find them, okay? Go and find them. And when you find them, opt in, okay? That's James Wedmore, one of his opt-in pages, right? Opt into their system. Now, after a dozen or so influencers, you'll have a library full of winning themes, an incredible number of ideas and pain points you can share, and all sorts of ways for you to impress your subscribers because you've been taught by the world's best and it hasn't cost you a cent. You'll see what the audience is thinking about. And it also gives you ammunition for your emails, as I alluded to just a minute ago. You'll see what everyone else is doing. And this makes it easy for you to find a way to compete with anybody, right? Just because you've been online and emailing for maybe only 2 or 3 months, I can tell you, when you've got a swipe file from the world's best, I mean, you are going to be positioned in an incredible situation. You can come across as one of the most experienced marketers in the world practically overnight, and you've got it done free. You get a feel for how the email is delivered, by the way, when you do this. You'll get a feel for the layout, how you should lay out your emails, and the cadence that they use, and the actual curiosity that they build, and the PSs they use, a whole range of things. Look at them carefully, study them, research them. Don't buy anything from them, for goodness sake, right? Just use them as research. That's the point of it. They've done all the hard work for you, right? So you won't have to guess anymore what makes people buy. Can you see the potential now? I mean, you don't have to start from zero at all, right? Even if you're brand new in email marketing, I've just given you a flying start. Key number 2, how to strategize an email campaign that generates appointments for you without being a pro writer, without being a good copywriter. Because some people worry, oh, I'm not really good at putting words together, etc. Oh, I'm going to show you how to do it easy, right? Was this the last time you tried to find the magical email sequence? And yeah, as you can see, this is one of the slides I borrowed, okay? Because I can't put those things together, right? Okay. But generally speaking, if you're looking for a magical email sequence, I can tell you it doesn't exist. That's the point of that little GIF, all right? Every expert out there has their own secret method, okay? And I listened for years to this, eh? and I was absolutely darn confused. I mean, Who to believe? Which is the best one? All these experts were telling me all sorts of different things, right? So I went to my mentor for some wisdom, and his answer absolutely surprised me. You know why? Because it was so darn simple. What's my objective? He asked me that question. What's my objective? Get to know it, know exactly what it is, and then work backwards. That's what his answer, and that was his advice to me. And you know what? You think, that wasn't very helpful. I can tell you it was worth thousands of dollars to me, all right? Because if getting someone on a call is your objective, right? And that's basically what the focus is today, getting people on a call for a high ticket potential client, right? What do they need to hear first in order to say yes to you? They need to feel safe, right? This is going to be the basis of how you put your emails together. They need to feel safe with you. They need to resonate with you. They need to learn to trust you. They need to feel the call will be of benefit to them, not just some sales pitch. They need to feel the pain of inaction is worse than getting on a call with a stranger, right? And you're the stranger in this case. And yes, this is another one of Jill's slides that I borrowed. Okay, but seriously, we're all numb to the word free call or discovery call, right? I mean, people are skeptical, and for good reason. I mean, if you say, I would get on a free call with me or get on a discovery call, they're thinking, come on, this is just a sales pitch, Peter. Get real, right? They want to know what's in it for them, all right? So don't use the word free call, or don't use the word discovery call. There's other descriptions for the call you can use, but avoid those two, and strategy call. Avoid those three like the plague, all right? But my mentor didn't tell me what to actually write, right? He told me that's where the stories do the selling. And storytelling is something that's always fascinated me. And if you were part of my coaching family, you know that because I actually coach people on storytelling and how to do that. And it comes into emails as well. So I studied how the world's best sales leaders all used the stories to influence people to take action, right? How a 29-year-old mother of two stumbled across a little-known secret business that gave her freedom, one that you can start to for as little as $3,999, right? I mean, as I said before, don't buy this stuff, just read it and learn from it, right? But these guys are brilliant at it. And by the way, as you can see in the screen there, if you want an absolute classic, Google the Gary Halbert letter and then download it and read it, okay? This, unfortunately, he's passed away, but he was one of the most brilliant copywriters the world's ever seen. And I think if you read that letter, you'll learn a hell of a lot about what I'm trying to share with you today. And a sales letter, if it's done properly, answers objections as it tells the story. And to find these stories, what do? You get on a Zoom call, right? And you ask prospects and clients 3 core, very simple questions. This is what they are. What worries them the most? Or an old-fashioned one, what keeps them awake at night time? Secondly, what are their top 3 daily frustrations? Thirdly, who has burnt them before? And what happened? When you do this, I mean, I feel like this again, yes, another borrowed slide. I feel like I'm looking inside a family and eavesdropping on what they're really feeling because they open up and share the world to you, right? I could see reasons why people were reluctant to spend or invest by asking those simple questions. It comes down to these 3 core reasons. Number 1, belief that your offer or thing actually works for them. Remember I alluded to earlier, what's in it for me, right? That's what they're thinking. The first thing is this, does your offer or your thing, will it work for me? Can you prove that your thing will help them achieve their desires? You need to be able to do that. Number 2 belief is belief in themselves to be successful with your thing. People have been burnt before, as I alluded to. They fear rejection. And more important, they fear the embarrassment of failure in front of their friends and their family. Number 3 belief, that they have the time and the money and the resources to pull it all off? How can you show that hiring you will save them time and money and get them the results that they want? So when you're writing emails to encourage people to get on a call, the outline would look something like this when you bear in mind those three beliefs. The first one will be a welcome email, right? I'm not going to go into details about it. I just want to give you a framework. A welcome email. Then the second one is what's on the call email, because the whole purpose of this sequence is to get them on a call. So you need to tell them what's going to be on the call. So they're not going to be running away from you. They've got to see value in it. The third is a story on, does your thing actually work email? You've got to prove some things, right? The fourth is a story proving that they can pull it off. They can do this. You don't have to be brilliant, okay? Just follow what you do, okay? And the fifth is a story about the time and money being an invalid excuse, because that's what it is. Now, you can spread that over 5 or 10 emails, but that's the framework you need to keep in mind that answers those three belief particular questions, right? Show me, don't tell me. That's what it's all about. Make sure you do this. Now, to help you, I'm going to share some actual client email examples right now. Here's an example one. What's on the call? Okay. I won't read it through in detail, but basically this is explaining to people what they're going to get on the call, so there's no surprises for them. Hi, blah, blah, blah. Thanks for registering your interest on etc., etc. If you're looking for new smart ways to diversify your portfolio, then you're in the right place, okay? And that's what it is. But even better than that, share a flowchart diagram with them before the call so they can see, and they've got it in front of them, this is what the call is going to be all about, okay? And you know what? When you do that, you're in an incredibly powerful situation because no one else is doing it, all right? Example number 2, bringing up unspoken objections, right? I mean, you're planting seeds why, in this case, why property investment is so desirable. But the problem is transparency with companies. Show proof that there's transparency with banking and transactions and back it up with a testimonial, etc., right? Example number 3, what happens if you run off with my money? Or an opportunity to sell against with a horror story. You've got to put to bed all the worst possible things they may be thinking, and you do that in your email, and you do it with stories. And these bring up the most common objections and then sell against sunset clauses, etc., in this particular example. You see, when you pull out all the objections, right, that people can possibly have to getting on a call with you to talk about a potential high-ticket offer, when you pull out all their objections and you categorize them into 1, objection belief that your offer thing actually works. 2, objection belief that the belief in themselves to be successful with your thing, that they actually do believe that they can do it. And objection belief number 3, that they have the time and the money and the resources to pull it off. That's when you have the framework to book high-ticket calls. When you've got that, guess what? You are really in the position to be able to write emails that will definitely impact on the client or the potential client and get them on the call with you. Think of each email as an objection people ask on a sales call. Put it that way. Now, why do we do this? Not that I recommend this, right? But have you ever been on a cold sales call where the thing is, oh, let me think about it, right? Let me think about it. And yet, that's another one of the slides I grabbed from Jules, right? That's why I love email, to set up the sales call, because you overcome the doubts. You answer all the unspoken objections, like feelings that can't be put into words. And it helps dispel this let me think about it type thing. Because if you've done the email sequence properly leading up to the call, you've answered with your transparency and honesty all those objections. The outline we created helps answer those unspoken objections, right? There's no doubt about that. And the best part is you now have stories to share on your sales calls, right? Because you've learnt them by talking to other people. Can you see now that there's no hidden secret sequence to your success? The secret to your success, your customer. They're your sequence, okay? All you need to do is get on a Zoom call, and ask the 3 questions I just gave you. And to make sure you got it, what worries them the most? What are their top 3 daily frustrations? And who burnt them before? Sorry about the spelling mistake there, not whose. Who burnt them before? Now for the final key, the content, right? Because you may be worried about, well, I understand the principles, Peter, but I'm not real good with the content. Key number 3, how to get your customers to write your emails for you and do most of the hard thinking as well, right? So now we know stories overcome objections and convert, right? What if you're not a gifted storyteller? That's right. All you need to do is get on a Zoom call and ask, right? I've told you this before in this presentation, but there's an art to this. So let me explain with a quick story. People are interested in themselves, right? They really are. They love to talk about themselves. Once they get to a point of being wanting to talk to you, and you need to earn the right to get them to talk to you. So you make sure in your emails, right, that you are genuine and you're not trying to hit them on the head all the time. But people are interested in themselves. So you fuel this obsession about themselves and you get them to open up. Now that's a critical skill that we don't have time to teach here, right? But you get them to open up and then talk about their pain and their desires, right? I mentioned this before to you, but I'm saying it again, make sure you got it. What worries them most? That's a great bit of English, Peter. What worries them most? Sorry about the spelling. I'm a great typist, right? What are their top 3 daily frustrations? And who burnt them before? 2 spelling mistakes on one slide. You're doing really well, Peter. Such a professional presentation. But then you follow up with this. Ask why. Why those things are important. Never assume anything. Here's a quick example of why you want to challenge assumption. Wendy told me, for example, her clients were addicted to taking action and momentum. But after questioning and listening actively, I discovered this, that they were frozen with comparison of their peers. This made them make stupid decisions. They were desperate to not lose momentum, so they wouldn't look like a loser to their friends and family. And as a result, they kept doing the same thing over and over and over. Sure, they were taking action, but they felt absolutely stuck. Once she told me the story, then the email was right there. I could see what their day was really like. I could feel it, what it was like. And then it was much easier to write the story. Can you see where I'm coming from? And that's why this method works so darn well. It's let you become a chameleon and not sound like a fake, right? You can actually resonate with people because you've understood and listened to their stories. When you let your customer write your emails for you, guess what? You will sound authentic in any market, in any niche. So why am I telling you all this? What does this old Aussie think he is? Because I've been in your position, thinking some copy guru has the secret to my email success. Don't buy into people's crap that there's some secret formula and they're the only ones that have got it. It's not true. Your customers are the fuel for your email sequence. Your customers are the fuel for your email success. Now that I've wowed you with today's masterclass and all the spelling mistakes on my slides, right? Let's recap so there's no confusion on what to do next. Key number 1, how to ethically swipe proven $1 million email marketing campaigns and skip 80% of the tedious research. We use a swipe file to borrow proven themes that generate revenue with email, right? And the swipe file gives you $1 million ideas like I shared with you from James Wedmore, right? For example, each email list you sign up for gives you content and engagement clues. Another spelling mistake. Whew, doing well. And you'll see what competitors are offering, what pain points they're poking, what gets you excited, what common stories they're sharing. Wow, look at that. What pain points, not paint points, Peter, what pain points. Woo, I should do this again, but I haven't got time to do it, so bear with me. Key number 2, how to strategize an email campaign that generates calls for you without being a pro writer. We create an outline that anticipates objections, right? I gave you the framework before. Does your thing work? What if I'm not good at sales or video or putting myself out there? Or I don't have the time or the money to invest? All those objections. You answer those. I gave you the framework how to do that. And key number 3, how to get your customers to write your emails for you and do most of the hard thinking. Okay? What do? For the sake of getting it right again, you get on a Zoom or a Skype or a Facebook, whatever you want to do, right? And you ask, what worries them the most? What are their top 3 daily frustrations? And who burnt them before, right? Make sure you write them down. But then you follow up with this. Why? Okay? Dig deep for the best stories. Really dig deep. Now, that's it. Most folks will watch this, I know, and not take any action. Nothing stopping you from going out there and applying what was shared on this training right now. You can do it. There's nothing for sale. I just want to give you some home truths here. So please don't be like most folks. Take action today. But there is an if. And this is an important if for you. As business owners, we don't have the luxury of time to dabble around. There's work to be done if you want to get great with emailing, right? Here's what I had to go through to get my email working. And at times, I can tell you, it was an absolute struggle. Handwriting emails. I actually handwrote them out to get the feel for it. And by the way, it was easy for me because I'm a terrible typist anyway, right? And I want you to realize that email marketing is absolutely awesome if the timing is right for you, right? What I've shared with you today will work, and you should focus on it if the timing is right for you. And this is what I want to finish with because it's so important for you. So be prepared to do some work, but get your priorities right. Is email marketing the right focus for you right now? Think that through. It may not be the number one focus you need to do right now. Sure, it will be your number one business asset, but is there other things you need to do now in order to generate some cash flow, right? If you can do that, then you need to do that first. If it's the right focus, then go for it with what I shared today. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Now, reach out if you need some more help with that. There's a link for you, peterbeckenham.com/performance. And we'll look at an example of your email. You can share it with me and we'll work out why it didn't work. All right. I hope you had some value from that. I enjoyed sharing it with you. And once again, I wish you all the very best with your email marketing.